500 Scalets. They burned into the ground, slaughtered everyone. A huge army. They attacked without warning.
Now, for the maiden bloodletting. Such miserable luck. To die by the sword you helped forge.
Oh Gott, was mache ich hier? Was mache ich hier überhaupt? Oh! Mist! Oh, Scheiße! Oh. Hey, komm schon! Kletter hoch, Mann! Oh Gott, oh Gott, oh Gott! Kletter hoch! Kletter hoch! Kletter hoch! Kletter hoch! Hey! Komm schon! Oh Gott! Au! Oh Scheiße! Komm schon! Ah, nicht durch die ganze Kacke hier durch! Oh Gott! Oh, Hühnchen! Ja, das merke ich! Oh. Au! Kannst du mal aufhören, mich zu schießen, bitte? Was hast du davon? Pennergesicht!
Attention citizens, curfew is now in effect in all Class C districts.
The year is 2084. If they told me what the world would become, I would not have believed them. Hey! Just need to ask you a few questions. I am what they fear. A corporate tool of oppression. If you don't remember, you won't remember. That's when they call me.
They've come for him. Heart rate irregular. Emergency extraction procedure offline. Offline.
My name is Daniel Lazarski. I'm an observer.
Do you love PC games? Then you need a gaming PC. You need... The human eye perceives the image as smooth from 24 to 30 FPS. The maximum perception is around 60 FPS. Test yourself with a 1080p 30 FPS film or clip and a 1080p 60 FPS film or clip. Can you really tell the difference? The gameplay is the most important thing, but you could also say the game mechanics. If the gameplay is right, it's also fun. Or do you play even if it's no fun, but has great graphics? If a game is too easy, it's no fun. People need a challenge. Not all games need a good story, but everyone likes a good story, which is why we enjoy watching films or series. A good atmosphere increases perception and gives a game something special. Good music and good effects at the right time further enhance the gaming experience. Does the FPS really make a difference? Not really. It's about the game and not who has more FPS. That's exactly why Valve games are so successful. It's the fun that counts. People are happy to lie as long as it helps, and most people believe everything without checking the facts. That's exactly why most YouTube videos are clickbait videos. Lying also includes manipulating people and facts that don't exist or are false. The Russians have a good saying for this: manipulate the facts so that they prove what cannot be proven. An influencer or a salesperson is not interested in you. Why should they? Influencers and salespeople are paid to sell, and any means is good as long as the cash is right. The gameplay and fun is the most important thing, not the hardware. Many hardware tests with performance specifications and temperatures are carried out in 5 minutes. A chip should not be above 50 degrees. Above 50 degrees, the lifetime is shortened. Higher temperatures increase the conductive resistance in the chip, which has to be compensated for with more current, which in turn leads to even higher temperatures. Anyone who has read the manufacturer's specifications more closely will realize that it says RCPU/GPU can. Information on the perfect operating temperature is completely missing. Fortunately for the manufacturer, the warranty is limited. In principle, a CPU or GPU should be operated in the maximum window of 50 to 60 degrees. The graphics card is the most important part of a gaming PC, as this is where the graphic calculations for the image structure are performed. Fast RAM is important for the CPU to perform the calculations and should also be cooled. A fast SSD supplies the CPU with data. More precisely, the data is first loaded into the main memory before the CPU can process the data. If you need a lot of computing power, you also need good cooling. The thermal paste is the link between the CPU and the heat sink, which should be made of copper for better heat absorption. The thermal paste not only closes the gaps between the two elements, but also transfers the heat from the CPU to the heat sink. The best thermal pastes have a high silver content. The case contributes a lot to the overall cooling. It ensures a good supply of fresh air and also cools the chipset, the SSD, the circuit board, and the RAM. The heated air is then transported out of the housing by a fan at the rear. CPU performance is less important for computer games, as is the mainboard. The mainboard is more or less the carrier for the components of a PC. No matter what a salesperson or influencer claims, a power supply is and remains a power supply. It is one of the oldest electrical components and very simple in design. Any power supply can do the job. A beautiful casing is more for looks and contributes nothing to the function or fun of the game. Everyone has to decide for themselves whether this is important or not. For me, the design was never important. It's not a woman. Anyone buying or building a gaming PC should first realize how long this PC will be in use. It should also be taken into account that after 3 years, new hardware will be on the market that is faster than the existing one. In addition, the cost of a PC can quickly go through the roof. The temptation is great to buy something even better than you wanted. But one thing is certain, 10 to 25% more performance is nothing these days compared to the past. In the 80s until 2010, every percent really mattered. Here's a simple example. A gaming PC for $1,300 is more than enough. With the rest of the money, you better buy a couple of games, and that's what it's all about in the end, having fun while playing. Let's build a gaming PC together with good cooling and performance for long-term gamers. The PC will cost less than $1,300. Why an AMD CPU? Quite simply, AMD has the latest lithography and therefore requires less power for performance. In other words, who wants an Intel CPU that burns out? We already covered this topic in the Intel vs AMD video. The best AMD CPU in terms of price-performance ratio in the 65-watt CPU category, where AMD is also far ahead of Intel, is the Ryzen 7 8700G. Even though the CPU has an integrated GPU, we won't need it. So if you want to save some money, you can also take the Ryzen 7 8700F, which does not have an integrated GPU. If you want more power and have the money, I would recommend the Ryzen 9 7900. It is the third fastest CPU on the market with a maximum of 65 watts that you can buy. If you don't need a gaming PC, but want a very fast PC, you can also choose the Ryzen 7 8700G or the very powerful Ryzen 9 7900, both of which have an integrated GPU. No additional graphics card is required. AMD is currently very good with CPUs, but not with GPUs. Less power for the same performance means better cooling. And believe me, cooling a GPU with water costs real money. Always make sure that the graphics card has 3 fans, everything else makes no sense. So the best graphics card is the GeForce RTX 4060 Ti. It is perfect for our purpose. It is the fastest graphics card in the world in the 160 watt segment, and the price is very sexy. If you want more performance, you can fall back on the GeForce RTX 4070 with 200 watts. Memory is very important. It's better to pay a little more than to get memory with defective blocks. There is nothing more annoying than that until you find out that various PC problems come from the RAM. It gets even worse when you want to return the memory. Most people have no idea about RAM. Then they say we were able to boot a PC with this RAM. It's fine. More on this later. How to test and check the memory correctly. Kingston is one of the oldest memory suppliers in the world and the most reliable. Kingston knows and uses the so-called quality control, which many do not do in order to offer memory at a slightly lower price. I have never seen or heard of a defective Kingston memory in my life. I had my first PC in 1987. It was an Intel i386 with a brutal 16 MHz, of course only when the turbo was active. Funnily enough, 1987 was also the year Kingston was founded. And no, I don't get any money from Kingston, although I just said a lot of nice things about Kingston. When it comes to SSDs, I like to rely on the best product in the price-performance comparison. The quality and speed are important here, so it will be an Data Legend 960 MAX. Although the Transcend SSD is better, it also costs more, but this money can be saved as long as you are a proud owner of a daily backup on your PC. Or even better, you can buy a cheap backup disk with a price difference. Asus is a well-known player, even if certain products are not great, but one thing they can do is build motherboards. ASRock is also Asus, just a bit cheaper, but don't think that these products are inferior. On the contrary, they are excellent. Unfortunately, I haven't found a cheap ASRock ATX motherboard in Switzerland, so none are on the list. Arctic offers the best water cooling system I know. They don't cut corners like many. The CPU cooler support is made of copper as it should be. The 2 large 140mm meter fans are also great with the supplied MX6 thermal paste. For all those who need a heat paste, here are the cheapest ones you can buy. I don't really believe that a heat paste can reach 8.5. I think that's more marketing, especially with the manufacturers who advertise with over 12. It would be better if the silver content was stated as it used to be. The power supply, a simple product that anyone can make. Buy the one you get with 500 watts and the correct connections. There is nothing more to say. A case is just sheet metal with a few fans. Anyone can make one. Buy what you get. Pay attention to what size motherboard can be installed, and ATX are the small boards and ATX are the large ones. There should also be space for water cooling, which consists of a radiator with 2 144mm fans. It is also important that the air is drawn in from the front and that the fans are not covered by a wall or similar. A fan needs free access to fresh air. In this model, the front consists of a fine plastic mesh to catch the dust. Here's a brief overview of how to install the individual components on the mainboard. The other settings, as well as fan connections, HDD LED, and power switch must be taken from the enclosed manual. The manual can also be downloaded in several languages in the driver section. The Asus mainboard manual is one of the best. It is described in great detail with clear pictures. Here is a brief overview of how the individual components are installed on the mainboard. The other settings, as well as fan connections, HDD LED, and power switch must be taken from the enclosed manual. The manual can also be downloaded in several languages in the driver section. The ASRock mainboard manual is a little bit needy. The descriptions are very short and some pictures are missing. A PC case does not belong on the floor. Who wants all the dust to be sucked in? By the way, once a year the PC should be opened and the dust removed with a hoover. Many hoovers have an attachment with a small brush, which is perfect for cleaning. But don't forget to switch off the PC first and unplug the power cable. To be or not to be, no nonsense. But everyone has their preferences when it comes to monitors. These are mine. I hate small icons and small fonts. It's a lot of effort for my eyes and brain. It's exhausting. That's why almost everyone in Switzerland uses 24-inch monitors with a resolution of 1920 x 1080. This size is just about okay for gaming. But if the monitor is any bigger, it's impossible to play a first-person shooter. The eye has to monitor far too much of the image, and sometimes the head has to be moved. Another advantage of the 24-inch monitors is that I can have one in the center and one on the left and right. When you're playing, the other two monitors can be switched off, otherwise you're dazzled. And something else is better. If one monitor drops out, I have two more. It is important that a firmware update is carried out first. Yes, it is inconvenient, but better. The first problems are solved immediately. If you don't know how to do this, here is a quick guide. Go to the website of the mainboard manufacturer and search for drivers for the mainboard. A file is offered in the BIOS section or with the name BIOS. Download the latest version and save the file on a USB stick. Insert the USB stick, start the PC, and enter the BIOS. A firmware update can be carried out under BIOS. Follow the instructions. If you have no idea about the CPU, GPU, and RAM, you should not change anything. If you do tamper with it and the PC no longer boots, do the following. Remove the power cable and press the power button. This will use up the remaining power. Now plug the power cable back in and try to start the PC. If it still does not start, you have really messed up. Then proceed as follows. Remove the power cable and press the power button. Open the PC and remove the button battery for at least 10 seconds. Reinsert the button battery, connect the power cable, and try to start again. If the PC still does not boot, then you must perform a hardcore compose reset. Follow the instructions in the mainboard manufacturer's manual. If you no longer have the manual, you can also download it as a PDF from the manufacturer under drivers. If the PC hangs up from time to time, crashes, or Windows cannot be installed, or the PC simply boots, or you get a blue screen, which is really rare. If you get a blue screen, you should take a photo. Otherwise, nobody will believe you. No kidding. There are three causes. Firstly, your CPU is bad or you have damaged the CPU with too high temperatures. A big greeting to all Intel customers and the would like to tuner. Secondly, your disk has a problem or is about to die. You can check this in the Windows log under hardware. Pay attention to the yellow and red entries. Thirdly, your RAM is defective or you have damaged it during overclocking. Download Mentis 86 Plus and create a boot stick. Boot with Mentis 86 Plus and do only the quick and easy tests. If only one block is damaged, you can stop, or, if you enjoy it, do the big tests. They take a damn long time. Return your RAMs. This is under warranty. If the seller or manufacturer is full of crap, give them the log file from the test, which you hopefully saved, or a photo that you took with your mobile phone. The easiest option is to let Windows install the drivers, which I never do. Most drivers are old or simply bad. There's an option in Windows so that Windows no longer installs or downloads drivers itself. The old school way is more time consuming but better. Go to the mainboard manufacturer's website and download all the drivers and additional software you need. The important thing is that you should always install the chipset first. If it says after installation that the system must be restarted, do so. Otherwise, it's not really necessary for any other driver you install. You can boot once at the end when you have installed all the drivers. Do what you think is right. It's your PC. The only thing I can recommend to everyone is the fixed size of 1024 MB of virtual memory. Windows should work in RAM and not on the hard disk. Why 1024 MB? Because certain programs check this and would like to have virtual memory. 768 MB would also be possible. Here too, do what you think is right. These settings not only have something to do with saving power, but also with protecting the graphics card. Most gamers have a headset or headphones on. The graphics card can therefore be fully cooled. Be nice to your graphics card. Here are a few tools and settings that may help you. The most important thing everyone should do once to check the cooling of the CPU and graphics card is play a game for 5 minutes and jump to the Windows desktop. Check the temperatures of the CPU and graphics card. If everything is okay, continue playing for 15 to 30 minutes and check again. Don't forget, lower temperatures mean a longer life for your hardware. I have not tried it. The RAM will certainly not be damaged, but in an emergency, you must reset the BIOS. Here's the gaming PC in ATX and MATX format. Write a comment with your experiences. I hope this video is informative for you. Feel free to make suggestions for further videos with interesting topics. A little treat for all players. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be released on 11 February 2025.
I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, and if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences.
I intend to wage war, not parley.
Everything all right, eh?
We need more people. The best thing would be to recruit from your old comrades.
Well, if they're not already swinging on the gallows somewhere.
Will you help us, Henry?
Yeah, buddy, bro!
I like that boy already.
Thanks for watching and see you next time.